In this video, I will show you how to add a podcast player to your Shopify store quickly and easily. The first thing that we need to do is open up Elfsight. This is the tool that we will be using to build the widget, and I've linked it in the description below. Go ahead and click on that link and it will take you straight over to this page. This link also ensures that everything connects properly when we embed it. From here, just enter your email into this box to sign up for free, and then on this next page, create your password. Just like that, we are signed up and ready to go. Okay, so from here, once we are signed up to Elfsight, the widget that we are looking for is the podcast player widget. So to find this, rather than scrolling all the way through and trying to find this, because that's not very fun, we just want to go to search widgets in this top right corner and search for podcast player. We can see the podcast player widget right here, so we can go ahead and click in. And now we have a template to choose from. So we can go for any of these options. Honestly, it doesn't really matter which one you go with because these are all completely customizable in the colors, the layouts, and everything like this. So just choose one of these options and then we can click continue with this template. In here, inside of the tracks area, this is where we want to go ahead and link your podcast in this feed link area. So go over to your podcast hosting platform, whether this is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of the other options. You just want to grab your feed link and we can paste it in here to get access to your podcast. Once that is brought in, we can then update the cover image. So in here, you will want to add your podcast logo or the image for your podcast that you use. So we can click in, we can click on replace right here and upload file. And then we just go through and add the podcast image. Then we can come down here and choose if we want to reverse the playlist. So right now, if we look at the dates, we have the oldest podcasts on the top and then the newest podcasts coming down here. As we can see 2021 and 2020. But if we reverse the podcast, then we can see we have the newest podcast episodes at the top. So it's up to you which way you want to do this. We can then go into the buttons, and in here you can add buttons to all of the different podcast platforms that you have. So you can add the RSS URL, the Apple Podcast URL, Spotify URL, so on and so forth, and you can link to all of your different podcast platforms. Then we can go down to the layout and choose if this is floating, so it looks kind of like Spotify in a way. Or we have embed, where this is embedded in a single section on your website. I wouldn't recommend playing around with the width here. We can then go to the player and we can choose the player controls that people have access to. We can choose the player info to display right here, so play around with this. We can choose if we want to save the track and play in progress if people leave the website and come back. We can choose if we want to autoplay this. We can then go into the playlist area and choose if we want to show the playlist, if we want to show this on mobile, what information we want to display in this area, the date format as well. Then in here for messages, don't play around with any of this. This is set up by default. And then finally, we can go to the style where we can choose the scheme. So in here, you can change the background image if you even want to use an image at all, or if we just want to use like a theme like this, where it's just light, we can choose the color. We can choose the font. So just go ahead and play around with this and make it look how you would like it to look. And then once you are ready to put this onto your Shopify store, all we have to do is click on publish. And then Elfsight will take us to this screen where we can now choose a plan. Now, the plan that I recommend everyone getting started on is this free plan right here. This way you can put the podcast player onto your Shopify store. You can test this out. You can drive traffic. You can see how it works. And then later down the line, if you want to upgrade, if you want more widgets, or if you want more monthly views, you can upgrade to one of these paid plans at any time. So for now, just select the free plan right here. And once that is selected, Elfsight is going to give us this piece of code that we can use to put the podcast player onto our Shopify store. So all we need to do is click on copy code, and then we can go over to our Shopify editor right here. On the editor, we then just want to go to add section, and the section that we want to add is custom liquid. So we can add the custom liquid right here. And then all we need to do is go to this liquid code box and paste in the code that we just copied. Just like this, after a few seconds, the podcast player is now going to be added to our Shopify store.